On the show this week, Sirish tries to solve the mystery that is BMW's X6. And Bert catches up with the man responsible for Renault's designs. Hello and welcome to Overdrive. I'm Shireen Bhan. As you can see, the summer is well and truly upon us and I'm trying my best to cool off. Well, if you want to know more about the coolest cars or bikes, this is the show for you. Let's talk SUVs. Now, we buy SUVs because we want a little more space. We want something that can climb over anything. We want something that has a nice big diesel engine and perhaps even a little compass and a barometer. Now, that's what SUVs are all about. Are they really? Not if you're buying the BMW X6. A little confused? Well, let's find out.
It's an increasingly confused world we live in. My barber, he's not a barber anymore. He's a hairdresser who does pedicures, manicures and facials. And the last time I was there, he was giving a guy in a pink shirt blonde highlights. If you thought the metrosexual male was confused, then what do you think of women who are eyeing other women? Especially when you have eager and willing guys like Bertie around. The automotive world too is not immune to its own bout of confusion, especially not BMW. You do know that BMW don't make SUVs. They make sports activity vehicles, not utility, activity. Don't worry, I also don't get this. But now they've gone and outdone themselves. They've gone and made a sports activity coupe. So what is the X6? And specifically, who is it targeted at? Essentially, she has the same X5 platform and four-wheel drive hardware, but unlike the X5, this is not meant to go anywhere off-road. This is for the excessively rich playboy to pack in his dog, hunting rifle and trophy wife and head for Monaco. At the front, there's this typical BMW nose with the twin Corona rings in the headlamps and the kidney grille. But there's no clumsiness, no fussiness. It's just raw aggression. It just says, move out of my way, people. And in white is the most pimped out car you could possibly buy. It's in profile that it completely messes with your mind. The dramatically sloping coupe roofline is just bizarre. It's difficult to swallow and equally it kills a lot of the practicality you'd associate with an SUV. The last Lamborghini I drove ran on 19-inch wheels. The X6, this thing rides on 20-inch wheels. These are humongous tires and at the rear, they're 315 section wide. That's this wide. These are high-performance sports tires. They're not meant for going up mountains. They won't even go up your local footpath. But these things look amazing. This thing is really massive. It is humongous. But check this out. Inside, it seats only 4. And our producer Sandeep has about enough headroom as in a Bombay cab. The boot is quite big and spacious, but then this high loading lip makes loading heavy objects quite a pain. And the arse, well, this is the biggest in the entire automotive universe. If you've driven a 3 Series, a 5, a 6, even a 7, these interiors will be very familiar to you. These are classic generic BMW interiors, suitably pumped up of course for an SUV. The only downside to the X6 is that it has first generation iDrive, unlike the new 3 Series and the 7 Series which get second generation, which is intuitive and easier to use. Otherwise, the X6 also gets these paddle shifts on the steering wheel which feel very nice to use and is also the first for any X Series car. There are 2 versions of the X6 available in India. The xDrive 30D gets a 3-litre turbocharged common rail diesel, which is the more sensible option for India. But this thing gets a rioting petrol engine. It's a 4.4-litre twin turbocharged direct injection petrol that makes a stupendous 407 horsepower and 600 Newton meters of torque. 100 comes up in just 5.4 seconds. And that's Porsche territory. That's supercar territory. What isn't is this driving position. In a Porsche, you sit low with your butt inches above tarmac. In this, you are up in the clouds, lording over other traffic, eyeballing truckies, but still throwing her around like she's a sports car. BMW is all about building great driving machines, and that includes their SUVs. Sorry, Sports Activity Coupe. This thing, the xDrive 50i, can lap the Nürburgring racetrack in 8 and a bit minutes. That is just 10 seconds slower than the old M3. And for a 2.2 ton twin-storied rolling edifice on wheels, that is just extraordinary. It's not just the sheer numbers, which admittedly is out of this world, but what intensifies the experience, rockets it to the realm of the surreal, is the exhaust note. At idle, it's a deep, low, even angry V8 rumble that builds into a hair-raising snarl as you rev it to its 7,000 RPM redline and go attacking corners like it's a Nürburgring. You can't have astonishing Nürburgring lap times without a trade-off in ride quality. And with these humongous wheels, the ride is truly terrible, crashing into potholes and communicating each and every surface imperfection. But I don't think I'd trade in any of the handling for a bit more comfort. To be able to handle like a sports car, the X6 is dripping with technology, which includes active steering, dynamic drive, but the party piece is dynamic performance control. This was developed in Formula One many years ago, and what it does is, apart from splitting torque between the front and rear wheels, it also splits torque between the individual rear wheels. So when this thing is firing out of a corner and it starts to understeer, which it is bound to because this is a big four-wheel drive SUV, what it does is it sends more power to the outside rear wheel, and that helps the car turn better and power out of a corner. So it does not break individual wheels, but it sends more power, allowing this thing to corner faster and gives it even more traction. The system uses a set of clutches in the limited slip differential to send more power to the outside rear wheel, and the torque vectoring system even has a display on the dash indicating where more of the traction is going to. Very cool. The X6 could quite possibly be the most pointless, if not the most absurd car in the entire automotive universe. But it's also the most intriguing. Last year when I went to Europe, amongst the many cars I could have asked for, the one car I really wanted to drive was the X6. Back then also everybody was intrigued by the car, wanted to know what the hell was this car all about. I didn't have an answer then, I don't have an answer now. But what I do know is that after that month spent in Europe and a week spent testing this car in India, I'm quite taken in by the car. I can see myself driving this car every day. Except I will struggle to see myself tanking it up every other day with premium petrol. Right now, the trip computer is showing 3.9 kilometers to the liter, and at this rate, the 90-liter tank won't last for very long. Now this is a BMW, and Beamers aren't cheap. I have the price list with me, and the diesel X6 starts at 66 lakhs. The petrol starts at 83 lakhs, but that's the starting price. If you want goodies, for instance active steering, that's $150,000 more. If you want adaptive headlamps, that's another 50 grand. If you want some individual garnishing on the sides, that's 60 grand. If you want your instrument panel in leather, that's 2,30,000. Comfort seats are $1,10,000. A DVD system at the rear is 2,20,000, and it goes on, and easily this car can touch a crore of rupees. But all that is besides the point. This is a car that you either love or you hate. And if you love this car, well, I'm here to tell you, go for it.